Go. Hello, welcome to Kabbalah of Adam. I'm going to do a real short class for you today on what is going on in the world. What does the Torah say about what's going in the world? What does the Talmud say about what is going on in the world, and how do they correlate? Because we're in it. So if you have, this is a Art Scroll Edition Tresar, and this is in Psalm number 2. All right. So there's a little paragraph here where they give an overview. The sages give an overview about what is going on in Psalm number 2. All right. It's all about the nations and things that are happening to the nations, about the nations, and the begotten son who is David. Right. So let's briefly read this, and we'll do a little short piece of Talmud, and it will explain where you are in the world right now. After describing the good fortunes of the righteous and the failure of the wicked in Psalm 1, the psalmist now answers a classic question which is posed against this thesis. Why then do the wicked prosper? Big question. Why are the wicked so prosperous? He replies that the success in the psalm is short-lived. Their doom is impending, for God himself scorns them from above. If we are not worthy of witnessing their downfall today, the world will surely see it in Messianic times. Not the Messianic era. We are in the Messianic times. Thus, we understand why the sages in Brokos 10 consider the first two psalms as one. Though technically and physically they are separated, they complement each other spiritually and thematically. Although the sages taught that this chapter describes the Messianic times, Rashi and Radek suggest, which is part of the Mishnah, Midrash rather, suggests that the simple reading of the text lends itself readily to the events of David's own career, specifically the time immediately following his coronation, when the Philistines heard that they had anointed King David. That word anointed there is Mashiach. Over Israel. All the Philistines came up to seek David to kill him, to attack him. That was their job. And it's in 2 Samuel 5:17. In reality, the two proposed settings, past, future, and present, have no contradiction. For as explained in the overview, this is the uniqueness of Psalms. They are past, they are present, and they are future. Okay? Just like the prophets. Okay? Now, David had the ability and the genius to be stimulated and inspired so profoundly by present events that he could soar above the boundaries of time and sing of the past and the present and the future in the same breath. He could fractal with his words. Here's the part where I want you to listen. In the brazen Philistines of his days, David detected the seeds of Gog and Magog, Armageddon, the final war, of the arch enemies of the Mashiach. The war of Gog and Magog begins when all 70 nations of the world unite against Israel. The numerical value of Gog and Magog is 70. Wine is 70. Sod, which is secret, is 70. These are the 70 nations that were birthed from Noah. Okay? In Genesis around 8. All of those nations will suffer internal instability. What's happening today? They will be plagued by revolution. What is happening today? Audacity and atheism and scandals and unbridled inflation. Where are we? We are in unbridled inflation. What does that mean? We're here. The truth will be virtually non-existent. the sages say. Is that not where we're at? And the falsehood will prevail. And they use Sota 49 in the Talmud as a proof text. I'm going to start at Sota 49a. Things that have vanished. Once Rebbe Meir died, there ceased to be composers of parables. Once Ben Azza died, there ceased to be diligent scholars. Once Ben Zoma died, there ceased to be experts in exegesis. Once Rabbi Akiva died, the glory of Torah ceased. Once Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa died, there ceased to be people of good deeds. Once Rabbi Yossi Katonta died, which means the lesser, there ceased to be pious men. Once Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai died, the splendor and wisdom ceased. Once Ramban Gimel the elder died, the glory of Torah ceased, the purity died, as well as abstinence. Once Rabbi Yishmael ben Pavi died, the splendor of the kahuna ceased. And once Rebbe Yehuda Hanasi died, humility ceased, as well as the dread of sin. Now, I'm in Sota 49b1. I'm going to read the high points to you. In the period which will precede the heels of Mashiach. Why is it the heels? Because it's fallen all the way down to the feet of Adam. Adam was supposed to be 1,000 years. He only lived to be 930. David lived to be 70 because he gave him 70 years of his life because of the fall. If you want to study that more, I pinned the post in Kabbalah of Adam that you can watch the entire sode of this. So, we're in the feet. This is the last 70 because it's Gog and Magog. 70-70. See the front side and back side of the thing. He says, insolence will increase and cost will soar. Unbridled inflation. The government will turn to heresy. The peoples will dwell on borders and wander about from town to town, and they will not be succored. Wisdom of the scribes will decay. Those who dread sin will be despised and hated, and the truth will be absent. Everything is a lie. Everything they say is a lie. Everything they do is a lie. Last verse. And what then can we lean on? Remember our staff class. Here's the key. What is the word what in Torah? Ma. What is Ma? Adam. Yud-Hey, Vav-Hey. And then it finishes up on our Father in heaven. Torah is amazing. Sages are amazing. I'll see you in class.